All right, y'all. This will be, I guess, the first video I'm going to shoot in getting my pedals Cerakoted. I decided to go with this because, honestly, mainly the looks. I think it looks cool, but supposedly it does help protect from wear and tear. Not that I have any. A lot of the parts on here are fairly new. These are Speed Cobra 910s by Tama, and I've got them. I would say fairly heavily modified. I've got a strap drive on here and a longboard conversion. That's actually I guess you can call it low mass. They're fairly thin. They're very light. Both of these are from ACD Unlimited. You might have seen him on YouTube or elsewhere. He makes his own pedals and a lot of other parts you can interchange on other brands, which is what I did. So this is what they look like now. Most of it's stock, except the strap drive and the longboard. But they're the silver, like you would get normally. I think they have a black version, but I bought the original. And this will be a short video. This will be the only one before I go get them Cerakoted. I was told it's about a 2.5 week turnaround. So the next video will show what they look like. Alright, so here are the pedals. All finished, not put together yet. I'm waiting on some more parts, particularly a direct drive conversion kit from ACD. So while I wait for that, I've still got these all taken apart. But what I ended up doing, which is different from what I said in the first video, was some of this is Cerakoted, at least the big parts, but most of it and all the little parts, all the little moving parts that won't really have any friction between one another, are all painted with this paint you can get that a lot of people use on their cars, whether that's engine parts or plastic parts underneath. You can get this stuff at AutoZone, O'Reilly's, or any auto shop, even off of Amazon, and the stuff works great. You sand it down. I used 320, then you clean it, and I used just isopropyl alcohol, dry it off. You go ahead and put the primer coat, let that dry, put your color, and then you put your clear coat. Once the color's dry and you let it sit, I usually did it at night. It was about 5 to 10 minutes in between each coat, and then I let them dry overnight, and they come out great. Now, the reason I went with Cerakoting only a few parts, because one, it was cheaper. I had to go somewhere to get that done, and it cost me $200. I got these, like the base plate and the legs or the arms on both Cerakoted. And then the footboard and the little piece up top there, those are all Cerakoted. And the reason I ended up really just, honestly, that's probably the only piece, the footboard, where my foot was going to go, that I needed to get something Cerakote, or maybe even I could have done actually anodizing the metal. And that's because I'm going to have a lot of friction on there with my foot. I feel like if I were to put this paint from the rattle can on it, I'd tear it up pretty quick. But these parts I'm not going to be touching, and they don't really have any friction between each other. So they're not going to really tear up. That's why I feel like that was a smarter move. It's cheaper. So I used the blue on most of it. These I painted black. And they look great. Now if you look close, I've got some imperfections. This is my first time doing this kind of stuff. So here I've got some blemishes where that looks like I missed it on one of my passes with the blue, and I couldn't tell at the moment. And then over here, once it focuses, you can see I've got some scratch of the paint there. And that's because when I was putting these together, I slid this over it as I have to, and it chipped the paint a little bit. And that had been dry for about maybe a week. So this stuff can tear fairly easily. It's not like putting Cerakote or actually anodizing the metal. And then you see down here, I've got a little bit of bubbling, all of which is my fault. I'm sure someone way more experienced could do a better job, but all in all, I think they look great, and this is a fun project to do. I'm liking the end result. So if you feel like painting some of your parts, or maybe your whole drum pedal, I highly recommend either doing these, or if you feel like anodizing at home or know somebody that can anodize or Cerakote, go ahead and try that out. It'll be a fun project.